Good evening and welcome to Random and Famous. Today we are in Dubai and I'm really excited because we are sitting in City Walk, a lovely area. And thank you to Mr. Ahmad who is with me today to inviting us here. And Mr. Ahmad is a senior transformation consultant with Dubai Police. He is really interested into metaverse transformation, digital transformation, bringing the change and bringing the new technologies. Ahmed, please, thank you very much first to join me on this channel. And if you can explain to my audience what do you do?
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Dr. Ahmad Altarawneh. Currently, I'm serving as one of the senior consultants at Dubai Police in transformation, digital transformation, customer transformation, projects, initiatives, and so on. And also anything related to emerging technologies such as the Metaverse, digital twins, conversational AI, and so on. Previously to that, I was also with the Dubai government in the Roads and Transport Authority. And before that, I was actually around the world in 12 other locations, 12 countries around the world, working in different types of organizations and different types of positions as well.
Okay. Earlier, you was telling me that you stayed in US for 20 odd years, right? How that happened? Like
Yeah.
how it started?
Well, actually, it happened by a fluke. In 1976, my brother had a little accident and was paralyzed from the waist down. And because of that, our father sent us to the UK for studying. So I did my O-level and A-level in Hindley on Thames in UK.
Okay.
And then in 1978, we decided, my brother and I, that we would go to the US and complete our studies there. So we went to the US and started at a small town in Georgia, studying civil engineering. Both of us actually went to civil engineering, and then I took on other studies as well, management and so on.
Okay, that's great. And what does bring you like 20 years of experience there and working and studying? And what brings you back to this part of the world?
Amazing question. 1978 in the U.S. It was great. It was great times in the U.S. It was beautiful, simple, and people there were not so much. They were open for other cultures and so on. So studying there, the plan of going there for 4 years to study ended up being 21 years.
Yeah.
And basically studying, and then we decided that we would go in and apply for a job, my brother and I, and we actually got the job. So we thought we would work for a couple of years so that we could get some experience, and that 1 year just added to another year, it ended up being 21 years in there. But in 1999, after I grew a small family, and I had a daughter, and I thought that probably raising a daughter in the Arab world would be a much better place than the U.S.
Close to the culture.
So that was
Yeah. Okay.
basically
Great. Yeah. You was telling me earlier about the metaverse, and you start researching the metaverse and going deep into that when people even didn't hear about it, right?
Right.
Tell me about that, please.
Well, I had my eyes. I always scan for. I try to scan the world for anything that's emerging, concepts, technologies, whatever. And back in 2017, 2018, I started to realize that there were a couple of thought leaders talking about metaverse and so on. And so I started to look into that, and from then on, I actually was fascinated by the concept of metaverse. So between then and now, I've actually developed myself as a certified metaverse expert, for example. And I also did a lot of research into the metaverse, and I'm probably going to be launching a book into the metaverse soon. I have a book that's coming out on the metaverse. It's called Around the Metaverse in 80 Cases.
Okay.
And below that is a statement that says game or game changer. I believe it's a game changer.
Yes.
Others might believe it's a game.
That could be my next question. Yeah, like you touched on that very rightly said so. So is it a game changer or is it a game? Because a lot of people think that it was went to the peak very quickly.
Right.
Everyone's talking about that, and then it's going to die down.
like any emerging technology, there's going to be people who are going to jump on the bandwagon, right? So there's going to be those entities and people who are going to take this and try to commercialize it so quickly and benefit from it so quickly and so on, right? Hit and run kind of thing. But basically, the metaverse is going to be a game in some areas and a game changer in a lot of other areas. And we have so many examples, so many use cases that shows already that the metaverse is going to be a definite game changer in the field of training, in the field of services, logistics, procurements, all kinds of areas, health related use cases. But the metaverse is definitely going to change our lives, just like the internet did 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Okay, that's great. If you go back and you look at yourself, a young Ahmed, right? What would you give the message to yourself, to young Ahmed?
Yeah, follow your passion. I mean, I've had along the many years of my career path and my years, I've had so many passions. But from when I was young, I was always, you see the passions and you develop them, but you don't persist on them. So basically, my advice to myself and to any young person, if you have a passion, you need to follow it through and explore to see if that passion can actually turn out to be the way you live for the rest of your life.
Okay, that's great. That's a great message. So basically, go for your passion, take the risk.
Take the risk.
Okay, I think that's important.
Absolutely.
In this world, people are reluctant to take that step,
Absolutely.
and that leads to the next question. And I always ask this: what message would be for any young person who want to change their life, entrepreneur, their business ideas? We all have these ideas, right? In this day and age,
Exactly.
but people are reluctant because of obvious reasons. What I saw it myself personally, your family, for instance, you want to do something different apart from 9 to 5 job, and they're going to say, "Oh, are you crazy?
Yeah.
How are you going to do it? Are you going to leave your job?" Or people just laugh on you, make jokes, right?
Yeah.
What message you give to that person who has the idea?
Well, I would start with saying that 9/10 of the world's economy is actually in entrepreneurship. Okay, so that's the first message: is that if you need to look in yourself, you need to develop yourself as a young person, and then you need to try to go for entrepreneurial activities. Now, some of us are not built for that, and a job is the best fit. But even if you decide to go for a job or entrepreneurship, it's basically a trip. It's a journey. Okay, it's a journey where you need to develop yourself every day. You need to work on yourself every day. You need to work on your network. You need to work on your relationships. You need to explore knowledge. You need to have a radar on all the time that's exploring the world, looking for new concepts and new technologies and things of that sort. Because that's basically what's happening today. 20 years ago, we used to have change that's happening at a very small intervals. Now change is coming to us like a runaway train. Okay, so that's basically my biggest message to anyone, is that keep your eyes on anything and everything that's happening in the world, and don't take anything lightly, because like the metaverse, for example, when it started out, a lot of people just looked at it as just another game or something like that. But there are some other people that looked at it seriously and made millions in a few months.
True, very true. And what's your thinking now for the future? Where do you see yourself in coming year, 2, 3, with metaverse research?
My passion is to, after I retire from Dubai Police within the next maybe 18 to 24 months or so, hopefully what I'd like to do is build a metaverse university or education hub. Okay, this is what I want to take the metaverse into an area that's being used now, but I have a model that will make this area actually so entrepreneurial and at the same time so innovative that we can take education to a level that's not existing today. Education has been the same for the last 200-300 years.
Yes,
right?
True.
It is time. It's been time that we change education. It's just uproot the education system altogether. And I believe the metaverse is probably the best place to do that.
And that's the, I think, way forward. That's the platform, right? Okay. What would you say, like when there was a time in your life you have taken that step that changed your life? And everyone has that. It could be the people tell me that it was 6 months ago or 10 years ago. That I'm glad I took that step. When was that moment in your life?
Well, I've had that moment in my life several times.
Okay,
actually.
okay,
So actually, in 1998, when I had that small family and stuff like that, and I looked myself, and I was in the U.S. for 20 years, and I was just asking myself, what's next, right? And this small daughter is growing, and so on. So it was time for me to make a change, and that's when I had a moment in my life that says, okay, just move back to the Arab world, right? And so I did that, and that moment actually repeated itself several times from then on. Between I moved back to Jordan, and then I moved to Iraq, and then I moved to Yemen. I did actually a little bit of time in Libya, even in Afghanistan. So
okay.
it was,
So the message is keep moving,
keep
right?
moving, yeah.
As we are moving, okay, and we're changing ourselves, we're evolving ourselves, and that takes us to the next level.
Yeah, you look at yourself, and you need to discover yourself, okay? And discovering yourself is not easy. It's not something that you do if you're in a comfort zone and just in one place doing the same thing, same routine. You may discover some things about yourself, but you're not going to discover all of yourself, right? And you may live a whole life of tens of years and still not discover yourself. But if you keep changing, and definitely if you change industries, change jobs, change locations, change home, several times in your life, you're going to discover different areas of yourself.
Yes, it's good. On that note, I think it's a great message. That keep moving, keep pushing, be consistent, and then you reach to your goal. So thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for
It's my
having me.
pleasure. Thank you. And for my audience, I'll come back with my next episode. See you soon.